I would be among the first to admit that we made mistakes in government. I will be among the first to admit that there was corruption within previous Antigua Labour Party administrations. But I have to admit that the corruption that exists today under the UPP regime makes corruption under the previous ALP administration child's play, my dear people.
I mean, this thing is explosive.
There will be no job losses under the Labour Party administration.
There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance,
I now turn to the water shortage that has plagued this country for some time. And I say to you tonight that leadership matters. I say to you tonight that the water shortage that our people have been experiencing is an issue that belongs to a different age. And I say too that we have made positive steps in order to resolve the water problem. And I guarantee you that within 14 days, there will be increased water supply in this country.
Let's face the music and dance.
A cornerstone of our general election campaign was the provision of affordable housing. Indeed, we promised 500 homes in 500 days. And we said to you that you would have gotten 500 homes in 500 days. Those with little or no vision said that it could not be done. Well, as your Prime Minister, I say to you that it can be done and that it shall be done.
Let's face the music and dance. Let's face the music and dance.
I mean, this thing is explosive.
This is True Labor Talks with your host, the executive of the Antigua-Barbuda True Labor Party.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of True Labor Talks. We're here, glad to be back with you and just to share our insights from our party and our perspective in Antigua and Barbuda, a democratic country where you have dissenting views on all issues and you listen to people. And one of the successes, I believe, of my grandfather, Vere Bird Sr., or Papa Bird, is that, yeah, he made his decisions and he alone made the decision at the end of the day. But before he made that decision, it was based on consulting everybody, rich, poor, black, white, and all other denominations and beliefs before he made his decision, what was best for Antigua and Barbuda. And that is one of the things that you have to do in democracy. One of the hardest things to do is to listen to somebody else. Listen to somebody who does not agree with your opinion or your belief, but listen to them to understand why. And if we do that as a democracy in Antigua and Barbuda, I believe we would have been further ahead than we are presently, developed as a country and able to listen to opposing views and to appreciate people. You learn more about yourself
by listening
and people in general. Your culture, your whole philosophy could change because you are listening to other people to understand how and why they came to their position. I think it is lacking in Antigua and Barbuda today, and that is why I really started off with that. But I'm in studio with Lionel Nedwell, so hey Nedwell.
Right.
Let the people know you're live and kicking.
Yes, absolutely. To our listeners, good afternoon. Welcome to our episode for today. I'm just happy as always to be with you and, to educate you and to inform you, educate you as to what's going on. And we'll be doing much of that today, so you just stay tuned.
Yeah. We went around in the constituency yesterday. Now, today is the 7th.
Yeah,
7th of October 2018. In just under a month time is the referendum, the first referendum held in Antigua and Barbuda to vote for or against the C.C.J, Caribbean Court of Justice. So we went around in the constituency, not really campaigning as such, but just letting people know that the True Labour Party is alive and well.
Still around.
And it was interesting what we heard from the people that we spoke to and spoke on the issue of the C.C.J. They were not having it. They realized that the C.C.J. was not for them at this point in time, in the sense that they were not going to have access to this court. They don't see the need or the reason why the rush to adopt the C.C.J. And I did inform them that they need to go out to vote, because it's one thing to say that you're not for the C.C.J.
Yeah.
But on the 6th of November,
if
you're not for the C.C.J. and you stay home, then you're for
it's a vote
for the C.C.J.
That's right. It's a vote for the C.C.J.
Yeah, that will work to those who want the C.C.J's advantage.
Very much
so I let them know they need to go out and express their views by voting against the C.C.J. And it was a really good campaign because people were surprised to see us. People that we met or that didn't see us during the campaign were saying, "Oh, we heard about you," or the neighbors said they heard about you, or you came by via Junior's son, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But I must have been at work, I didn't see her. And the lady that we spoke to, she was saying that, she believes she was probably at work when we came by, because we went more than once.
Yep.
It was at least 2 or 3 occasions we were in that area.
Yeah.
So I believe actually that where we actually did put a door hanger or something on the gate or the fence when we went there.
We did.
But we did not make all efforts to meet the people, the electors. I don't think she voted for me. She actually said so.
Yeah, she said
but
she
I
did.
believe she would consider me now seeing
After this
seeing
point,
who she voted for.
That's right.
Who she voted for, and that they're not performing. Dal Matthew, you said you are the representative of St. John's Rural South. The people in St. John's Rural South say they can't find you.
Don't see you.
You started up
Don't see him
well.
nowhere.
Every Friday you were seeing the electors in St. John's Rural South. But now all of a sudden you stopped that.
Yeah.
And
It's behind that.
electors, fool me once, shame on Labour Party. Fool me twice, shame on you.
That's right.
You really thought that Darrell Matthews was going to be any difference from you, Sestigole? Give me a break. That is on you. You voted for that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You voted for that nonsense. You're holding everybody accountable, not only the politicians, but the electorate for the foolishness that they do.
Yeah.
The electorate, you really thought that Darrell Matthew was going to be any different?
Well, he's one of them.
He's one of them.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just like you elected Eustace Tikele, the man who was so down to earth that you would sit on a corner drinking alcohol and smoke marijuana with you, so you felt. That is, you know what you call that? That's a dirty nigger. Listen, if you ever make your representative, and even if you don't, I don't need your vote so badly that I'm sitting down in a corner drinking alcohol and smoking weed.
Yeah.
You can do that in private.
Of course, of course.
You do
It's
it
a private thing.
But I am representing you. And a fair amount of the community, the older people, and so don't like that image of people drinking alcohol on the corner.
That's so
I
true.
have to respect them.
Yeah.
And respect myself.
Yeah.
My mother didn't bring me in this world to be drinking no alcohol on no corner. There's nothing wrong with alcohol, but it's the place and the circumstances that you do it in.
Place.
There are children around that see it, And I don't think that is a good image. Any representative, even if you don't make me, even as Weber III, lawyer, social activist, politician, I don't think I am setting a good image. Like sitting in a corner, drinking alcohol and smoking weed. To the young people, to the old people, to the middle-aged people. So I won't be doing that nonsense. What are you saying, Eddie?
Absolutely, you're so correct. As you said, the campaign it went well. It was not a full-fledged campaign. We just went out there to let the people know that we're still around. And they normally will be saying that you don't see politicians after the election until maybe a month before the next election. And we are determined to let the people know that we are different. We are not that type of politicians. We are out there to serve the people, and we want to help the people and to guide them on, because we want to bring Antigua back into what we know Antigua can be. Now, when we went out there, and you talk about the C.C.J. and it's not, amazingly, it's not us most of the time that raise the issue. From the time we started talking, they bring up the C.C.J. and they giving us their views, and they start to tell us their experience of how the courts and all that. And we're, it's going so well because we're hearing the plight of the people. And we're able to, to tell them, things that can and ease their grievances and stuff like that. So, the campaign is nice. It's nice going out there, meeting the people. It's very, very nice. And, like this lady that we spoke to, she was so disheartened of what's going on and talking about she don't see her representative. She voted for him. She told us that she voted for him. And one of the things that's so disappointing that, right after that, there is no him. She can't catch up with him. They used to have this every Friday or whatever. They have this meeting where they go and see him, and maybe the first couple of Fridays he was there, but for right now, there is no him.
As I said, he went to war, and he's missing in action.
Missing in action. Can you imagine? So we're, but again, as you point out, it's no different. They're one of the same. They're all the same people, and they will do the same things. It was just a matter of time. Start off well.
Matthew saw an opportunity to make money.
That's right.
And to have some level of power.
That's right.
And he took that opportunity.
That's all he did.
I have no problem in that.
It has nothing to do with the people.
With what the individual chose to promote himself.
That's right.
But I have a problem with the electors who actually thought they were getting something different.
That he was going to do something different. Not at all.
That is what I have the problem with.
That's so true, So we will continue to campaign. We will continue to meet the people because they're quite delighted in meeting us as well. You can see the thrill on their faces when we go there and they say, "It's a rare bird. It's rare bird to tell me." They say, "Wow." Hey, say, yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, you're supposed to be here somewhere down the road.
Yeah,
4 years or so. Hey, it's so nice. It's just it's nice.
And to know that we actually are having fun.
Yeah, doing it, man. It's
yesterday
good
I wasn't
stuff.
feeling 100%. I didn't even really tell you.
Yeah,
I got a call. I think my son had
I picked
the
it
red
up
eye about a week ago.
I picked it up. Yeah, I saw that.
And he had a cold before that. And whatever he get in school, the little kids is fierce because I pick it up right away.
Yeah, he brought it home for you, man.
So I function still. I go out and go to court and see my clients and so on. I wasn't feeling 100%. Even my left eye and so was feeling kind of saggy and watery and itchy and so on. But we went out because we are committed to meeting the people of this constituency.
We have to do it.
Whether they voted for us
or
they didn't vote for us, are they on the fence, or they have some problem with labor, labor,
don't care. They're part of us.
So we make the attempt to go out there, and I'm happy of my campaigning in yesterday. And I believe that people will see us for what we truly are. We mean well.
Absolutely,
very well. I honestly believe that people could live a lot better than they are right now. Why are you living like this?
For sure.
Why are you living in such squalor? Even you don't have a job, even if you don't have all the money to take care of your kids that you want to. The condition of St. John's Road South, the standard of living
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, it is.
You don't have any community center.
Nothing,
You don't have
nothing,
any
nothing
health
to assist
center.
the people.
You don't have any hurricane shelter.
Nothing.
Your roads,
Nothing.
your
Remain
gutters
the
are
same.
clean. They're unkept.
Yeah.
Why are you living like that?
Yeah.
Because of blind loyalty to a party.
Yeah.
And if Veer isn't in the Labour Party, then I can't vote for him. But
Yeah.
if he's in the Labour Party, then I could vote for him.
Yeah.
That is why you live like you do.
But you
Because you could do better.
much better. But wait, you
could
call
do
it
better.
You call it blind loyalty. I call it ridiculous loyalty. That is silly. You know, because it happens time and time again where, you know, you're loyal to these people and they just come and be disloyal to you. And then it doesn't matter, you know, they do it blatantly. And then you continue to be the same loyal person. It's sort of ridiculous where. I don't understand where you're going with that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what is happening over the years, and it's continuing to happen. And we need to change that particular sort of attitude towards how we go about doing the nation's business. You know, we are people that we want to be living at a particular standard, and they're not even discussing that way. It's the same thing day after day. What we had yesterday is what we get today and what we're getting tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're not changing their attitude, their behavior. They're not changing the way that they think they should represent us. They're
It's
not
a culture.
changing anything.
It's a culture of getting to power and then I
That's
don't
it.
give a damn.
That's it after
It's a
that.
culture.
We have achieved, we reached, and that's about it. And the
down the
people
ladder,
assist
can't go on
them.
here.
Yeah, the people assist them in doing that way. And you know, this, I don't know. I have a problem, you know, because I used to be on the variety radio program.
And we're coming back.
Yeah, we're
Mr.
going
Carter.
back. Yes.
Don't worry, we're coming back, man. You
We'll
look
be
out
right
for
there.
us.
Due time.
Labour
we'll
will
be
look
there.
out for you. We're coming
That's
back
right.
soon.
And, you know, one of my co-hosts, when I had a previous show, to our show at this time,
Yeah.
our program at this time, he used to tell me, his name is Dian Joseph, Ants, they call him. And he used to say, Neddy, the problem is the people. I'm saying no, it's the politician that put them into that mode. They teach them they want handouts and stuff. He said it doesn't matter because after a while they should understand what's happening and what the politician is doing to them. So the
Yeah.
problem is
Up to
missing.
their tricks.
Yes, and he said no way. No, Ants, it's not like that. But when you really think about it, the people put themselves in that position.
Yeah, he was
Because
right. He was right. I
he's
told
right.
you so.
Yes.
I supported him.
Yes,
I
you
supported
did. You
him.
supported him.
At
you
the
know,
end of
he's
the day,
actually-
it's a democracy.
Of
and we
course,
need
and you got the
people
opportunity.
to educate themselves on what
That's
is
right.
happening in the society.
That's right.
And to be informed.
Absolutely.
Our people, for some reason,
Don't
think
want
that if the Labour Party, okay, Tico is bad, so we get another candidate.
let's try
you
somebody
don't know
else.
the person well. You
No.
don't try to find out about the person. but
His
because the Labour
character,
Party ticket,
whatever.
You vote for him.
Yeah.
Then they say you can't find the man.
Yeah, like you expected something different.
Did you hear of Darren Matthew a year or two before he came candidate?
That's right.
Because he's so interested in you?
well.
No. So why the hell would you think all of a sudden now his interest, his heart bleeds for you?
I don't know.
Because
yeah.
you're being ridiculous.
But you know, if you really check, you know, if you check the character of this guy, because remember he campaigned for his cousin.
Yeah.
Earlier, and you see what he's made of. So he's a
Campaigned
kind of
for his
guy that
cousin
will
to become the
representative
candidate for
of
the UPP in a
that's
primary.
right. And then he
within
decided.
a month,
That's
he
right.
was his cousin's
rival.
rival
Main rival.
in the ALP.
Can you imagine? So you
No.
know what type of person he is.
Yeah. He saw opportunity and he
Of
took
course, he's
it.
an opportunist.
I don't have any problem with that, but see it for what it is.
Of course.
He's an opportunist.
Yeah, of course he is.
Straight up.
So, yeah, you know, I don't know that the people was expecting him. They were voicing that yesterday, and it was sort of difficult to just blatantly say, well, you expect any different? That wouldn't be diplomatic at all.
Yeah,
but, you know, to talk
Can't
the
throw it in their
truth.
face, but
Yeah,
God.
to talk the
Jesus,
truth. To
man.
tell the truth,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I didn't expect any different at all.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
one of them.
The
He's
truth-
part of the process.
The truth is a very painful thing.
Very painful.
And
Yeah,
we
very-
sometimes try to avoid it.
Yeah.
And when we look in the mirror and we try to ask ourselves what type of person you are, it's
That's
hard
right.
sometimes
Hard
you
to
know
face up.
what you were taught as a child from
Yeah,
the
your
Bible,
basic.
and what the standards of what your parents
That's
wanted
right.
of you and so on, and when you fall short,
Of
you know,
course.
to look in the mirror and say, you know,
Yes.
This is what was expected of me. I didn't achieve this. I didn't achieve that. Personal failings of mine. I should have done this and I shouldn't do that.
Second.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
But the truth is painful. So when you go out and you speak to a lecturer, but did you really expect any different?
It's just
You
so
put
true.
yourself in that boat.
Yeah, certainly did.
You understand?
Certainly
You
did.
have to treat them with children's gloves, child gloves.
All
sometimes, you know.
because they were safer with labor.
They're safer with labor. You
Yes.
got a red shirt, cost $20.
Now they
saying you're
see,
safer with labor.
they
You're not
see
safer.
that they're not too safe at all.
You're not too safe. You're in the
Man
sa-
don't even
No,
want
you-
to see
you're
them.
in the same position you were in
Same.
before you voted
Exact.
for Darren Matthews.
Exact same.
You're in the same position you're in before you voted for Eustace Tigole.
That's right.
You're in the same position you were before that you
right.
voted for Winston Williams.
That's right.
You
Same thing.
understand?
Same
That
thing.
is the reality.
Reality
But
with all.
Neddy, I
Sad
don't
reality.
want to go on the campaign anymore. We
Yeah.
spent a good
Yeah,
20
we have.
minutes on that. It's
Wow,
time to go
already?
on,
Yeah.
to another issue that I want to
Yeah.
mention briefly. On the 25th of September, I had a victory in the High Court of Antigua
yes.
and Barbuda.
Very nice.
I was
Congratulations.
brutalized by a police officer, a criminal by the name of Alvin Thomas. He has been awarded with the Queen Honors of Police Officers. He has been promoted to the Deputy Commissioner of Police. He was promoted previously as acting superintendent, then confirmed superintendent of police. All of these promotions were after he assaulted Eugene Humphreys,
And yourself.
also known as Ministers of Health, up at the Transportation Board. Now, this happened about 6-7 years ago. No, if I was 5, my math is 5 years. Eugene was about 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah.
All the time, Eugene Humphreys settled for $29,000. This criminal, Alvin Thomas, was promoted throughout the police force. After he assaulted, by the time he assaulted me in January of 2013, he was acting superintendent of police. After he assaulted me and battered and assaulted and maliciously prosecuted and falsely imprisoned and maliciously damaged my property, he was confirmed superintendent of police. Then he went on to become deputy police commissioner. Then he was given an honors December 2017 before he retired, and he was given an honor by the Queen of England. This is what we're talking about. When we're talking about the C.C.J. and we are going to vote in just under a month's time, you have institutions which are supposed to be functioning, government institutions which are supposed to be functioning to improve your life, the citizens of the state. And one of those institutions is the police force. But I don't know of any other institution in Antigua and Barbuda which is underperforming more than the police force
Same
of
police
Antigua and
force. Oh,
Barbuda.
boy. You can say
The
that.
Royal Police Force of
Oh,
Antigua
yes,
and Barbuda.
yes.
It is a force that is underfunded. It is a force that the good police officers do not get proper pay. It is a force where I believe that the senior officers are the corrupt ones, and that they are putting things in place, institutionalizing corruption, I should say, in that force. So I'm not going after each and every individual police officer.
No.
What I'm saying is that they are good, hard-working individual members of the Royal Police Force going about and getting paid to doing a job where they're not thanked, where they do not get properly
Proper
rewarded or
that's right. The wages and,
compensated.
yeah, the salary
Right?
yeah.
But there are good men and women in that force. I know it because I'm a trial lawyer for 17 years in Antigua and Barbuda, and I have experienced some moments of concern, compassion that you see from these officers. And I am not going to just call the whole Royal Police Force of Antigua bad, call them bad. But I believe the senior leaders of this organization ought to have done better or could do better if they really had the
They
interest of
want to.
Antigua and
That's
Barbuda
right,
at
they
hand.
want to.
Look at me. I went to the police station after I was assaulted by the criminal Alvin Thomas. I went to the police headquarters on American Road and complained of an assault and battery on 2 occasions. And up to today, not one police officer has called me back. I don't win the case against him since April of 2018.
Still
I
haven't
went
heard.
to get assessment of damages on the 25th of September.
Still haven't heard.
Won $150,000 in damages,
And you
both
still
special,
haven't heard from those.
nominal, general damages, exemplary damages, cost and interest, all to the amount of $150,000, and the meter is running because interest is attached until they pay me. And today, nobody is mentioned
No,
that I
still
made a
haven't heard
criminal
from them.
complaint
Still
on
haven't
the
heard.
criminal Alvin Thomas.
Yeah.
What you got to say?
Yeah, but you see, this is the same thing that I'm talking about. That bias with one another, they're one of the same, and you know, this is what's happening. These guys are not functioning the way they're supposed to function with. You know, they're not behaving like police officers. The police officers are supposed to be protecting the general public and not to really aggravate situations like they did with you. You know, look at your situation. You know, it was uncalled for. Absolutely.
protested.
Of
My
course, this is your
constitutional
right.
right.
It is your right to protest. And to see that this gentleman come, I calling him gentleman, but all right, let me use
Criminal.
that. To see that he comes and just, you know, aggravate the situation to tell you that you should not be there, you should not have that right. This is a right that is there for you. And this is what, you know, he violated. And he is actually paying for it. He puts the government in the position now that they have to be paying for what he did.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is what's happening within the police force. As you said, that is not all the police that behaves like that. There are quite a few police in the force that who are quite, you know, they're real police. You know, they know what they're doing, and they're happy with what they're doing. But you have others who, they don't behave like police at all. You know, they're doing the things, there are other situations that's taking place within that same force that you can't even imagine that these police that get themselves involved in those sort of situations. So, you know, I don't know if you need to vet these ones who come to be employed, but I don't even know what you have to do. But you know, what we are seeing now.
Okay, I have to disagree with you. How are you going to vet the policeman?
Yeah,
They know about Eugene Humphrey,
Yeah, they-
bang off the man of the transportation board.
Yeah.
They paid $29,000 to Eugene
That's
Humphrey
right.
for assaulting and battering the man.
That's right. Yep.
They come to me. They know the matter was in the court.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's not decided as yet
That's
whether
right.
whether Alvin is right. But they kept promoting the man to the
They're
force.
consistently police. You know, I don't know.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
they go and give him an
Yeah.
honor
Yeah.
that he traveled to England with
Yeah.
Philip Isaac. Philip Isaac also got the award that year.
Okay.
And they went to the Queen and got this honor for their service in the police force.
Can
of
you
Antigua
imagine
and Barbuda.
knowing what he had hanging over his head?
Yes.
Yeah, this is
but
really
the fact
sickening.
is, Eugene they already paid.
That's right,
Eugene
he paid.
29, so that was a done deal. He was liable for that.
That's right.
Now you have Weber III's matter.
Coming again.
Just got determined April of this year, judgment against the defendants.
Yeah.
An assessment to be determined at a later date.
Yeah.
But you awarded the man all these honors.
Yes, he
and
did.
he, like a real criminal, like a smooth criminal,
Yeah.
he get out of the force before this judgment come down. Now.
That's
he,
right.
He already
That's
knew
right.
what was hanging
Gone.
over his head.
Yeah.
You know, and he
gone.
clear out.
Yeah. But see,
That is the reality.
This is the whole thing, you know. And we're coming to a subject shortly, which is going to be the C.C.J. Why I'm so skeptical about this C.C.J. thing? Because okay, see how they operate. This man violates just about total violation, and he's been promoted. And he's been getting these awards with all these violations hanging. You know what I'm saying? So it shows that when people is in charge of doing this and
The
doing that.
interference
how
of
they-
the politicians.
Exactly.
Did the Attorney General know what was happening?
Of course he did. He
had
knows
to
they
have
paid. They
He
paid
had to
Humphreys,
know.
so he
Yeah,
had to know.
He had to have known. He had to
He
have
had to
known
know.
what's going on.
So then, you know, to see that you still go out and presumptuously, you know, nominate this guy for this, that, and the other,
Yeah,
know what type
recommend
of
him for an
person he is.
award, yeah.
It shows that they're just really out of hand there. They're totally
yeah.
out of hand.
I agree.
And this is why I am so skeptical about this other thing, the next subject that we're going to
CCJ.
talk, which is a C.C.J. I am so skeptical about it because I know how these guys operate there. and it's not in the interest of the people. It's far from that. So, I am so happy for you.
Well, yeah, go ahead. What you
I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I'm glad that you you broke the barrier in terms of these guys just manhandle people anyhow they want to outside the way of the law provides.
You're a citizen.
Of course,
you have your rights to do.
You
these
have
things.
your rights. You have your rights.
Any law and order had broken down at any breach of the peace on Newgate and Market Street, while I was a part of the picket, I'd have walked away.
Of course.
I'd have told
have
business, I'm not
that.
a part of this.
That's right. But
And
it
there's
was just a
several times
peaceful
where
stuff.
some of the picketers get heated when we're in the lone wolf function
the
and so on.
times, yeah.
And I, as a lawyer, as an officer of the court, would tell her, hey, don't do that, don't do
you
that,
can't
leave
do
that
that.
alone, move
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from the people, don't interfere with them, don't
That's
touch their
right.
property and so
That's
on.
right.
That is what my responsibility
That's right.
as the leader, the president of the organization, but as an officer of the court. I have to keep the peace.
That's right.
Or you gonna tell me I'm going on Newgate and Market Street, the busiest street in St. John's, to cause a riot?
Yeah, let me tell you, man.
In front of a police station with 30 to 50 officers on duty.
But that don't even
If
make
you want to start a riot, the last
it
place
wouldn't be
is
there.
in front of a
It
police
certainly
station.
wouldn't be that place of choice. 'Cause
It's like I'm suicidal.
absolutely. It's so crazy. And to see this man went out of his way to come and violate you like that. I've seen the picture. This man grabbing you up and all that. I'm saying,
The
look at
wedgie and
this
so
stuff.
on, yeah.
This thing is really ridiculous. And they need to learn. It's a lesson well thought. I hope. I hope that they will learn from this. That they will pay for the ignorance that they do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that you pursued it, because then if you didn't, you'd be just leaving the door open for someone
them
else
to do it to
get
somebody else.
Somebody
You
else.
see, one of the things as a lawyer, as somebody who come out of a family where you are civic minded and you're trying to help people.
That's right.
What he did to me, and I am a lawyer,
Yeah.
so somebody knows what to do in the law. I can't get it from the police to make a criminal complaint. I took it to the civil courts.
That's right.
I could not allow what he did to me to happen to somebody else who doesn't know
No,
the
man,
law.
it wouldn't be- no, it
doesn't
wouldn't be
have
right.
experience in the courts.
It would not
You
be
had
right.
to do something about
That's
it.
right, and I'm
Let
so
them
glad
know
you
that
did.
this conduct is not
It's
acceptable. in
no,
Antigua
totally
and Barbuda.
unacceptable. Totally
So
unacceptable.
that is the victory I believe, that I am not oppressed in my country where I have my constitutional right,
That's
and I'm not
right.
letting anybody
Come and
trample over
violate
my
that. You
rights.
can't let them violate that way. But it's not only that, there's so many other different things going on with this police force where I am so disappointed with what's happening, because these are the people who are supposed to be protecting us. And when you look and see what's going on, they're the main violators of many of the things that's going on around here in Antigua right now. So, we're this
You
whole...
remember on the campaign trail yesterday, the old lady there we saw,
Yeah.
and then she was so pissed off with that officer Archibald
Yeah.
getting away from
Yeah,
that charge of
she was upset.
having sex with an
Heard what she said?
child
Okay.
and kidnapping and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we were laughing a little bit in the sense where you say, boy,
Yeah.
you can't even call the police to go report about somebody interfering with a minor
That's
child,
right.
because then they have more
She was so upset.
child molesters
How
in the
you
police
be?
force
But
than the average citizen.
hey, man, so really disappointed with that stuff.
Well,
But
police
she,
officers doesn't have a good name. In
no,
Antigua
not
and
right
Barbuda.
now.
Their reputation
Not right
is
now. As
mud.
officers,
I
peace
don't
officers.
think at any point in time in the history of Antigua
That the
police
officers'
are
ratings
looked on so poorly.
were poorly. Actually,
Yeah.
the ratings are real poor. But she was so upset with that. You had to say, she said, me have grandchildren, see? And they will just understand that me not afraid jail. Because the one of them that do it, she was highly
Yeah,
upset.
granddaughters.
Granddaughters,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
She said she's not playing around. She will block their hand. She will do anything she have to do. So no, come, molest me. She go, because you know that the biasness going to take place and you're going to walk and all that. So you just do as you like there.
Yeah,
And it's an issue. It's a real issue. People are really worried about what's going on here. You know, that is not right there. And a lesson wasn't been taught there because he walked. It seems that it's something right that he did. You know, and the excuse for him walking is so frivolous, so really out of hand. Look, really.
A little child should not be the one to determine.
Yeah,
can you imagine? Doesn't want to move the matter forward.
Can you imagine?
Just like she could not determine
exactly
consent to sex. How can she
determine
that she doesn't want?
She's not of age
in a criminal trial of what he did to her.
She's not of age.
The fact that you acknowledge that she's on the age should go forward to she cannot determine to stop the matter.
She has no say in this, but
that
the evidence that she's going to give. That's
and
right.
if her parents agree to that, then there's no standard of appearance.
That's right.
I can understand the hardship in having your child go through that experience, understand.
But she's still going through that experience. Whether understand
that experience isn't going to stop.
No. In the streets.
So you'll be living with that for the rest of her life.
It's something that happened.
You know?
So whether it's understand her in the streets and she be still going through that experience, yeah? And say that your parents deprived this girl of getting justice. Because, you know, that's her justice. And when she grows up, she'll realize that I did get justice. All right, he did this to me and whatever. And you know, justice was served. And they deprived her of that there. They deprived her. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Come talking about, what they say they do?
What did you want to go through?
Forgiveness. Some forgiveness. What forgiveness has to do with this thing? You break the law. So whether I forgive you or not, you have to take care of that section there, and then the forgiveness come in the name of the Lord. You know, you come and tell me that you forgive me, so because I forgive you, the law cease. You know, to do what they have to do. No, it's not supposed to be like that way. This is supposed to be that you break the law. You have to suffer that consequences. If you're right, if you didn't do, then you walk. If you did what is, you suffer the consequences. You pay the price of doing what you did. But don't come and tell me now that you forgive. I can't forgive you for something that we're going to halt my judiciary. You know, whatever you did, the judiciary has to make sure that justice is served. And then when you come and say, well, I forgive him, so the judiciary say, he's forgiven. So
that could be taken into mitigation that the parent or even her was showing some sort of forgiveness, but the act was done.
So something has to be.
So you should have been found guilty.
Of course, at least.
Something. I heard. I never read this stuff. I can't. This stuff makes me sick. I can't read this. People tell me I hear now.
Not making any sense. No, it's not making any sense. I don't read it either.
When this matter came up with this officer first, right? I saw the article on Observer Online. And I'm eating my oatmeal the first thing in the morning. I don't want to hear this nonsense. The other one they had against the other officer early in the year and all. I'm online and I'm seeing that the first thing in the morning. I don't want to know. Because that's not somewhere I want to start my morning.
I hear you, man. It's ridiculous.
You know? But all I'm saying is that if she's on the age that she's too young to have sex,
consensual sex,
to have sex, how can she be viewed as able to say that she doesn't want to proceed with the prosecution of the matter?
It doesn't make
that
sense.
is nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're in Antigua and Barbuda. Then we have to move on. Come here, 37 minutes into the episode already. We want to talk about the C.C.J. And one of the issues, well, we have really been beating it, the C.C.J. on the issue of fix the local courts, the prison, the police officers, the institutions that you have already, because we are cash-strapped. But one of the things that I believe that we have not pushed enough is probably what is the cost of the C.C.J. We know that in the United Kingdom, that the government of the United Kingdom pays to the Privy Council. That is on the Queen.
That's right.
That's her Privy Council. And the government pays for all the matter to keep that court funded. Unlike the C.C.J., which I know they said they had a trust, and the trust fund running out now.
Just about one
and that if Antigua and Grenada accedes, to the C.C.J., where is the money coming to run the court? When you added 50%. There's 4 countries now under the C.C.J's jurisdiction. If you're adding another 2 countries after the 6th of November, you are adding 50% of workload and cases. Right? we are at a situation now where several of the justices sitting on the C.C.J. are looking to retire. So you won't only be paying salaries of those there, those who are going to come on board after these gentlemen retire, but you're also going to pay the pension
for the
for these
retirees.
gentlemen who retired. So you have more money being expended. Where is that money come from? Where is the cost coming from? That is what I do not believe that the government and their henchmen, those who are pushing, quote-unquote, sensitizing or brainwashing, as we actually call it, is mentioning to the public. They talk about this trust fund and the money going to be there. The trust fund is running out. They're going to have to replenish this trust fund.
That's right.
Who has the money to fund this court? Because I do remember that this present government, the Gaston Brown administration in 2014, before the election, said that they were for economic residents. They were for people being able to reside in Antigua because they were providing businesses or doing something in the society that we want to hold on to them. So they were opposed to the CIP as a party. They said it was economic residence, and that is the way they would allow people to contribute to society, business, or whatever, or in whatever way possible, that they could reside here and not be thrown out or exported or deported easily. They could reside here peacefully, provided or provided some sort of benefit to the society. After the 12th of June 2014, the same day, Prime Minister Gaston Brown says that he's holding on to the CIP program, and the comrades were saying the CIP program all of a sudden is good because it's keeping the country afloat.
That's right. And
so you are saying that you were cash-strapped and that you needed this means of selling your citizenship. No, we are cash-strapped. Antigua and Barbuda, which was the largest economy in the OECS, but there are other islands, St. Vincent, that does not sell its passport. As cash-strapped as they are saying they're not in a position where they have to sell, they're not in a desperate position that they have to sell their passport. We are doing that, right? So where do you find the money to go pay for the C.C.J? It is another institution. You have police force, prison, magistrates court, industrial court, high court, and all these other institutions which are not properly funded at this point in time. My question to you, where do you get the money to pay for another institution? Can we afford the C.C.J. as another institution? And I link it or like it to, you have 2 or 3 or 4 children. Can you afford another mouth to feed in these hard times? In a country that says that it was so cash-strapped that in their manifesto they said it was economic residency, not CIP, not citizen by investment. All of a sudden, the Prime Minister said the condition is so bad that we have to keep the CIP. You said you raised $1 billion in the CIP program, but the police had a disciplinary hearing this week up at the police headquarters, and I was listening to the police officers talk. And one of the police officers was saying, yeah, they take their money and put money to buy gas, put gas in the police car to go and investigate a crime. Because they can't get access to gas money.
Can you imagine?
And one of the other officers said, I don't do that because the Prime Minister doesn't take out money out of his wallet and put in his car to go and do government business.
That's right.
To go and do people business. So he didn't do that. So police officers don't have money, or their money has to be used to fight crime by putting gas in the car. We have clerks in the magistrate and the high court who have to dig their hand into their money to go and pay for folders in order to keep the files separated for people's cases, which the government is supposed to provide. We have clerks at the high court and the magistrate's court that have to go and buy printer ink so that they can print the people's orders and judgments and applications and approvals and so on. right? You don't have the money. We have a prison where they're saying they're still using slap buckets. They're charging people at the front desk money to purchase water for their loved ones. Because they can't even provide water to the inmates, fresh water to the inmates.
You're so right.
Right? That is the situation we're faced with. And you are telling me that we can't afford another court.
Yeah.
You pay zero for the Privy Council. What is the cost for the C.C.J? Not this, it's pie in the sky and let us vote for it and then sort that out after. Why take on that responsibility? Because come the 6th of November, and God forbid the C.C.J is approved to be our final court of appeal,
Wow. It's more
within the
hardship.
month or two before the end of the year, I believe there will be a new tax in place
Yeah.
to fund
to
the
fund that.
C.C.J.
That's right.
Nedwell, what you got to say on that?
You know, yes, it's so sickening. It's sickening to know that these people realize that, you know, what's going on with even the funds the lower court. And it's not just Antigua here. I read an article what's happening in Trinidad. And the judges are saying, hey, we have bent over backwards to let this thing work. You know, we monies are being taken out of our pockets to do this and to do that. And judges are saying that. And one of them in particular say, I am not going to do it anymore. Because they know that the government is responsible to be funding these things and they're not doing it. They're not able to do it. And to see now that they're not able to fund what they have now and to say they're going to take on something else, it doesn't really make much sense. It's really, really sickening. It's disheartening to know that they feel they can fool the general public like that, and they go. But it's nowhere. What I'm really concerned about is to know that they know that these things, and they're still so vigilant in getting this.
Get in their way.
That's right. Why?
At any cost.
Why? What is the purpose? You know, I don't understand. So to see that this is what's happening, and they're so insistent in wanting that to bring this thing into being. You mentioned the jail. You mentioned the prison. The prison is one horrible place that needs to be rectified. Before anything else, they should be rectifying this prison. Look at the prison system. Look at what the slap pail. You know, it's not even the regular proper slap pail. It's some sharp iron edges thing that, you know, that it really doesn't really make much sense here. That, you know, so I don't really know where they think they're going to get the money from to be funding. You pointed out that the CIP money isn't coming in the way it used to anymore. You know, that probably gone somewhere down. It's really gone bad here. It's gone bad. And I can see why. You know, that not much people are interested anymore because the traveling restrictions to the countries that they wanted to go, you know, it's not as easy as before. So they're not interested. So the money isn't coming in. And where is that money going to come from to fund another institution? You know, and it's not right at all where these people are going. Least concerned, we have educated people sitting on panel, and these are the issues that needs to be addressed, and they're not doing that. They're more interested in talking about, well, we are a black country, and we need to be doing control our own this and control our own that. We look at the police station. We are controlling our police station. Look how they're behaving. Look at what's happening. Look at what you still do. You still recommend this guy for promotion. You recommend him to be knighted to by the Queen and get all sorts of this and it's crazy here. It's not nice at all, and it goes to show that the biasness in what's going on in our society today. You know, it's a lot of bias that in terms of you're one of us, so you're not going to be penalized the way that others who are not one of us are being penalized, and this is not supposed to be so. This thing is supposed to be a standard procedure. What's good for him is good for you. You're a citizen. I'm a citizen as well, so if it's good for me, it's supposed to be good for you. And it's not done like that at all. They're friend and company and all these things are taking place. And to bring that into our court system is going to be a horrible, horrible situation. I've seen a comment online that say, well, look, I know that we all want the C.C.J. and all that, but these guys are corrupt. And it's only a matter of time before they introduce that corruption into that institution. And I can see it there because this is what happened. You cannot corrupt the Privy Council. You can't get to them to corrupt them. So you create an institution who you can corrupt, and that this is what's going on within our nation at this particular time. And it's so sad to know, that this is what's happening. So I'm hopeful that these people understand. And from our campaign yesterday and what the people were saying, it certainly appears as if they're really up to date with what's happening and what they should do. But again, as you pointed out to many of the persons yesterday, hey, you're not for it, but you still have to go there and vote. And let the nation know that you're not for it. Because if you don't do that, you'll be just assisting the ones who are for it. So I'm so happy just to know that the people are thinking in that direction. And I do hope that, come the 6th of November, when they go out there, they will show their disapproval. And the powers that be will understand why the disapproval is being meted out in such ways that because of what they're doing. They're not working in the interests of the general public there. Whatever they're doing, I know it's for them. It has to be, it's for their benefit there. I've never seen none of these guys out there protesting against what's happening worldwide. Black men are being shot and running away from the altercation of the police, and they still shoot them in the back and all that. And these guys, not even one comment being made on that to say, well, we don't approve this. This is a horrible situation that black people are going through still. But within the C.C.J, that is one of the main focus. Oh, coming out of the colonial age and all this. Of course we're coming out, but things have priority. And I don't see how can we say that the C.C.J is a priority at this particular time? You pointed out the Privy Council is being founded by the British government, by the Queen and them. We don't have to put any money into that. And we are going to create an institution now that we're going to have to talk about some 10 million, another 10 million. Where this money coming from there? We can hardly pay Social Security and pay pensioners. And you're telling me about, this is what's happening. And it's not Antigua alone where it's most of the Caribbean countries. They're cash-strapped, of course. We don't have no great minerals, no precious stones and stuff like that in these parts of the world that no gold and stuff like that. So we just have to go through the day to day and try to make it the best possible way. We don't have that automatic money coming in. This, not like America with so much different minerals, so much different this and that. Money just keep filtering in. It's not like that at all. Human resources, one of our main, going on of where we decide how our money, the spinning of the money between how it's being spent by human resources. And it's not like that, as easy as that. And these guys let it sound so easy. Oh, we find the money to fund it. Where? Tell us where. You can't fund many things. You can't fund what you have now. So how are you going to fund what you're creating to go along with that? And you said it right there. It's like having 3 kids. And you can't take care of them well, but you're going forward to get the 4th one. In these times. How is that? It's absolute problem there. So I just do hope that the people realize exactly what these people, the powers that be, is trying to take them, and they do the right thing in terms of, go out there and decide this is not the time for it. I understand there are other groups out there now that decide, look, the C.C.J, this is not the time for no C.C.J.
This is not the time for
no, this
the
is not.
C.C.J.
No, not at all. There are other issues out there that need to be addressed. The prison in particular, that prison, and it really dangles in my mind that to know that inmates have to go through such conditions.
It's a sad situation.
Real sad. And when you say that the inmate needs some water to drink, and his family has to purchase that water right there.
They don't have drinking water.
No drinking
water.
What
I heard several years ago when I did the BBC interview, the article.
Yes, I remember that.
The lady who did the thing, she said that basically it's the fire engine at the fire station. They would turn on the water for them sometimes. That's not drinking water, that's pond water.
But
at
exactly.
best. That is
the
what
idea.
they get.
The idea.
You
Really,
understand?
this is not right at all.
And it's human rights
yeah,
abuse.
the rights of
And
people
we
being
are
so
past our
violated.
colonial era. We can't say the white man, the white man, the white man anymore.
What white man?
Since
That's
the
not an
1st
excuse.
of November, actually since the 27th of February 1967, we are responsible for our own internal
right.
affairs.
That's right.
And this brings me back to one of the other issues that I want to raise on the whole C.C.J. Privy Council matter. I remember hearing from my grandfather where he said that prior to getting associated statehood, and may even be prior to getting independence, I know definitely associated statehood. Before that, they had to show the colonial masters, the British, that they could balance the budget for several years before they got their associated statehood to run their own internal affairs. There were preconditions before you could get to that status. What are the preconditions for Antigua and Barbuda shifting from the Privy Council to the C.C.J. as their final court of appeal? There appear to be none. Our own leaders don't even set preconditions that they have to achieve financially, culturally, socially before they go to this final court. One of the things you need is money. We are not in a situation where we have lots of money in our society. The government
just
does not
floating
have
around.
the revenues.
No, it's not.
And you see even the Prime Minister now, who is supposedly the world boss, in that he is the world boss, and he keeps ranting and raving about getting this money from the WTO in the offshore gaming industry, which is supposed to be 250, 300 million US dollars, I think, at this point in time, because it's over 10 years. Right? What I'm saying is that you obviously are cash-strapped.
Absolutely.
Because all the policies and investors you claim to have been bringing into Antigua and Barbuda, they have not brought in sufficient investment for us to even live at the standard that we are at prior to 2004.
That's true.
So where is this money coming from? Everybody seems to close their eyes to this fact and just say, I am C.C.J., I am pro-Privy Council, but how are we going to pay for it? The Queen does not require the government of the United Kingdom funds their court.
That's right.
And that is why I'm saying, at the end of the day, the average citizen is saving money because that is a burden on the United Kingdom taxpayer. You will be responsible for this court and all the other courts and institutions that are failing the Antiguan and Barbudans right now. And that is an issue why I am saying not no ever to the C.C.J. But I believe, as I gave you an example, Papa Bird, set some guidelines, some preconditions, some markers that you have to achieve financially. Build a new prison, seal off those dungeons at the St. John's Police Station, build jails to hold people innocent until proven guilty. Do not put them in a dungeon, 18th century dungeon that was designed to torture, to degrade, and humiliate people.
That's right.
And then tell them, oh, you're innocent, or we're not going to press any further charges, and expect that person to have respect for the police
when
force.
you expose them to that filth and that
you stigmatize the people.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
These are conditions that I'd like to meet. I would like there to be PACE, a Police and Criminal Evidence Act, where it says when a police wants to search you, the procedure that he must adopt, the reason why he's searching you, and how it goes about to be done.
That's right.
You need to have that enshrined in an act, right? I would like to see that when the police detain you, as they have 48 hours to detain you, that they don't just hold you for 48 hours. Because I was charged eventually after 30 hours for obstructing a police officer in the course of his duty. Not only was Alvin Thomas the criminal, the investigating officer, but supposedly he was the virtual complainant. He was complaining that I obstructed him, but he took 30 hours to charge me because he had to investigate the matter, which he was on the scene.
That's
he said
right.
it happened
He was
to
right
him,
there.
but he needed 30 hours. That sort of stuff should not be permissible. What the way I was trained in the United Kingdom, like I qualified as an auto barrister of the Bar of England and Wales, is that the PACE Act says the type of people, how long you hold them for, and if you want to hold them longer, you have to go to your superior officer and you explain to him the reasons why you want to hold him. Usually the conditions for holding a person longer is if it's a burglary and you worry that they may get out and hide the stash.
That's right.
Or that
Stuff
if you
like
give
that.
them access to the outside, they'll get their friends to hide the evidence or get rid of the evidence. So that is reasons why you can say you're holding a person for longer to do your investigation so they won't be able to cover up the evidence.
That's right.
There is a policy that I want to see in place, and not just the simple arbitrary nature of I have the power to hold you for 48 hours. So you stay there until I feel to get you out. No. There needs to be a place when somebody is just being investigated for obstructing an officer
there should be
in the
some
course
sense
of
of
his
urgency
duties,
to that.
or somebody who is being investigated for murder or rape or burglary.
Yeah.
And have a gang out there that are burglarizing houses, that you will hold those people longer. But simple matter where somebody bust a bad word on the police,
you know what I'm saying? Some little
you hold them for 48 hours.
It doesn't make sense,
It doesn't make any sense.
But
you ask them to come back to the police station at a certain time so you can continue investigation into the matter.
As simple as that.
Yeah, that is what I believe should be done.
You know, just this week I've heard of a situation to where a young man, he been detained, and he could not even get a phone call. They told him that the phone not working. Well, what nonsense is that?
But if the phone not working, they're supposed to provide a cell phone.
At least bring a cell phone and say, look, make that
call,
because that's right.
He has a right to speak to a lawyer.
So he left early, and next thing his girlfriend didn't see him down 4 o'clock. She started to wonder what really happening, and when she inquired, he's there locked up and couldn't get a phone call out there. And these are the things that's happening. You know, I really don't understand. These violations are just taken so simply.
Right to your fundamental rights.
That's right, your fundamental rights. This is not supposed to be like that.
Eddie, we are already over the hour, you know.
Not at all.
Yeah, we're
not
already
at
over
all.
the hour.
Oh, man, we just getting started.
I would just like to say these words, that I believe, as I said earlier, that we have to have benchmarks, preconditions before we accede to the C.C.J.
That's right.
Without that, I have
it's pointless.
A family, children, a wife to look about in order to look about their futures. I cannot just allow it to be like that.
No.
I can't just say, well, let I just throw up the sum up in the air and hope he land on the right side.
You know, where we drop, you can stop.
No, you have young kids involved, and I have to look about their future. And I don't want them to be in a situation where they're going to be faced with 20, 30 years now for the bill for C.C.J. that we didn't pay for or couldn't pay for. And that is the problem. It is good to say that you are a proud black country and you have black judges on your final court. But at the end of the day, what is the cost? Is it a situation that there's going to be impartial or there will be political interference? These are issues that need to be discussed. Are you going to have a final court of appeal that when it upholds the conviction for a criminal, that they're going to have to be endorsing the human rights abuse by sending them to our one prison, which has on the top of the prison built in 1735? No. We need to stop the human rights abuse. And that's where I'm going to leave it for now, ladies and gentlemen. We could go on for another half an hour. But then will you say your piece and then
yes, it's so correct. You know, when you talk about this abuse that's been going on, and it's been taken so lightly, you know, and this is something that is quite serious. You know, everybody, you have your rights. You're a citizen of this nation, and the rights are supposed to be adhered to. And this is not what's happening at all. Where, you know, things are being done to people, and, you know, it's just like, you know, it doesn't matter. And where these things that needs to be stopped. And within this C.C.J. going on, where this is so, it's horrible. It's not being done right at all. As you said, guidelines, if you set some guidelines. And preconditions. And when these preconditions are being met, then we can start discussing and get to where we are getting to. But just to tell me that we need to control our own affairs, this is not doing us any justice at all there. So you know, we need to just look at this thing quite serious, take it for what it is, take politics out of it, and do what we're supposed to do, because it's our day-to-day living. Our grandchildren down the road are going to have to be faced with many of these things, even the conditions of what's going on, and not just the bill. So, you know, and to do things that will serve our purpose, right? And, you know, the basic way of doing things has changed so drastically over the years, that it's not like that anymore. You know, people are just towing lines, and these are things that are not supposed to be anymore. So I'm asking the general public to be quite conscious of what you're doing when you're doing and things that are going to either benefit or hurt your grandchildren and down the road, and you know, make sober decisions. And I hope that you will do that come the 6th of November, which is next
Amen
week.
to that, man.
Yes, brother.
On the 6th of November, on Referendum Day,
That's right.
vote no
No
for the
to the
C.C.J.
C.C.J.
Take care and bye for now. We'll be back hopefully next week.
Absolute.
A buzzard took a monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought that everything was on the square. The buzzard tried to throw the monkey off of his back, but the monkey grabbed his neck and said, "Now listen, Jack, straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Ain't no use in diving. What's the use of diving? Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top." The buzzard told the monkey, "You are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free." The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, "Your story's so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top." Bree, bree, doo, bree, bree, doo, da 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 da. The buzzard told the monkey, "You are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free." The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, "Your story's so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top."